Hey kiddos, it's your dad here. In this video, I wanted to talk about why minimalism was keeping me from being able to truly live. I know this is a little controversial because I understand that minimalism is about allowing yourself the ability to not be tied down to all of these external things in life, to not tie yourself to feeling like you need to have the latest and newest clothes, to not feel like you need to go on a fancy, expensive vacation, feeling like, minimalism can give you the freedom to enjoy things in life without feeling like you need to add more. How can you become intentional with your life through minimalism is the core principles of minimalism. But it was also minimalism that kept me from being able to truly enjoy my life. Why do I say that? And maybe it's a specific subsect of minimalism, but it was this idea, and I think it started when I first started learning and getting into entrepreneurship. I would see people like Steve Jobs, Mark Zuckerberg. They would wear the same clothes, same shirt, because it helps reduce decision fatigue. They were super productive. They didn't need to think about what they were going to wear. They had the same thing in their closet. They didn't need a lot of things in their life. They didn't need a fancy house. They didn't need the latest stuff, because the most important thing for them was knowledge. What's in their brain? What can they achieve? And with minimalism, a lot of people choose minimalism because you're able to save money, you're able to get more work done, you don't need to think about these things, and maybe this is probably wasn't that most healthiest way to approach minimalism. We're staying in this really beautiful place, and it's very minimalist. If I could show you, very simple layout. It's very minimal. That's minimalism. This beautiful view is minimalism. So I decided to embody something that was actually preventing me from being able to live. If this is what minimalism is, beautiful, simple, intentional, why was the minimalism that I was choosing, which was the same, it's intentional. I'm intentionally choosing to limit things in my life so I can become more productive. The reason why minimalism was a trap, and why I decided to break away from that, is because I was stuck there. I've been wearing the same shirt, not this shirt. This is a new shirt. I just bought it. But I've been wearing the same shirt for many years. I decided, like, I'm not going to care about how my fashion, my design, because I would rather focus on my business. So I don't need a lot of shirts. I had 5 shirts, 10 pairs of underwear, 2 shorts, a pair of flip-flops, and 1 pair of sneaker shoes, a pair of jeans. And I thought that was what I intentionally choose those because it allowed me to focus on other parts of my life, primarily just my business. And I was very minimalist about what I was choosing to pursue. Like, I'm not going to choose to focus on too many things. I'm going to focus on the one thing. I believe that's David Keller, the book The One Thing, because I was going to be very intentional about how I was growing my business and what I was focusing on so I could achieve a specific thing. And it wasn't until recently that I felt like that identity that I had of only wearing the same clothes, only focusing on one thing, which was business, that it started to feel like it wasn't allowing me to enjoy other areas of my life. Being able to try and wear clothes that I felt very confident in, that I think look really nice, that I didn't want to spend money on areas of my life that felt superfluous. It felt like it was something that was extra. Like I didn't need to spend money on going out to a nice villa. I didn't need to spend money on a nice shirt. I didn't need to spend my afternoons doing something like studying Japanese or even working out. Like I when I started getting into business, I said like I'm not going to work out right now because I want to focus on these other things. And then even if I was intentional about like I'm gonna work out, it was because I'm working out because I can grow my business. Um, I when I say that, to me now it sounds very um, it sounds very toxic. Maybe you're in a place in your life where you hear that and it sounds like it makes more sense, because to me it made more sense back then. Now, at this period of my life, it doesn't. So there's a dichotomy with minimalism and being intentional. You can be intentional with growth and productivity. You can also be intentional with allowing more freedom in your life and allowing more creativity, allowing more spontaneity. Um, you know, I I think the most important thing for me was when I realized that the identity that I had before wasn't who I was anymore, or who I didn't want to be anymore, and allowing myself to let that go and move into a new identity where where you know I I, I still don't I still don't have a lot of clothes. I have a few pieces that I like, and but giving myself that freedom to be able to yeah, giving myself that freedom that I didn't allow myself to have before. So if you're in your place in your life where you feel like you want more freedom, allow yourself that freedom. I don't it, I don't think it would have made a difference if I wanted to wear some clothes, some nicer clothes, if I wanted to change up my wardrobe, if I wanted to go and enjoy a nice time out. Um, there's probably some deep rooted stuff there. When I was a kid, my mom told me that about, she used to talk to us about the finances, and she said she was very honest about our financial situation, which we didn't have a lot of money. Um, my mom lived off of like 1,000 a month, um, and it was tight for us. And I was aware of that, so I would purposely say things like, "Oh, I don't want any Christmas presents this year. You don't have to get me anything for my birthday." If we had a school trip, I would say, I don't need to go on that school trip. Um, I didn't want to spend the money. And, that's probably something that most likely, definitely played out into my adulthood, and why minimalism made sense, because I could say, well, I don't need these things in my life because I have other priorities in my life. But even when I was in a place, even now when I'm in a place where I have the ability to, I was still telling myself, well, I don't need to get new clothes. I don't need to do this. I don't need to go, you know, this is for, you know, my 30th birthday. Your mom and I are staying, in this place, and your mom is taking me out and treating me to something nice. Because for every year, I haven't been treating myself to these things, because I was being intentional about not giving myself too much, but that was also taking away from me. So it felt right at the time, and I don't want to say that I suffered during all of those years necessarily, because that's what I felt like I needed to do at the time. But when it comes a point in your life where you feel like I'm ready to move on, listen to that, hear it, sit on it, and maybe it is the right time if you feel that it is. But don't ignore that, and don't have that just be your whole identity when it doesn't feel right, because you can get stuck, and that's when you're not truly living, when you're lying to yourself saying that I need to be a certain way, or I need to continue to live my life a certain way, when really deep down inside that's not what you want. So I hope that helps.